Welcome everyone to Yoga Basics. For today's class, you will need to have a strap and a block. And you may want to have a chair nearby once we come up to standing for some of the balance postures. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So sitting either with the legs crossed or extended out in front of you. Again, sitting on some folded blankets or a block to lift the hips. And then just taking a few moments to prepare the body by closing the eyes and turning the attention inward. And just taking a moment to notice how your body feels. Especially noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then we'll take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale it all out by blowing or sighing it out. And one more nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck and the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale and notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice even breathing. Inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue with this nice even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we'll set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or a phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. If you do have the legs crossed and you want to switch them before we begin the warm-up, go ahead and do that. And then we'll start by turning our head to look out over that right shoulder. And coming back to center and turning to look out over the left. And back to center dropping the chin to the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center. And then taking the right hand, bring it around so that your fingers are over by your left ear. And then as you drop that right ear down to the right shoulder, just use that right hand to apply a little, just gentle pressure to bring that head down. Deepen the stretch. Good. And then come back to center. Try it on the other side. So just placing your left hand on the right side of your head. And then as you drop that left ear down, again, just some gentle pressure. You should feel that stretch here on that right side. Good. And then release. Bring the head back to center. Extend the hands out in front. Open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. Good. Bring the hands back to the lap. And then we'll do some shrugs, picking the shoulders up, pulling them down. And then the next time you pick those shoulders up, roll them to the back. And pulling the shoulders down, extend the arms out to the side, bend the elbows so your palms are now facing forward. And then exhale, bring the elbows and palms together. Inhale, elbows out wide, squeeze those shoulder blades. Exhale, center. Inhale, wide. Exhale, center. Good. Let's do a couple more. Good. Last one. Good. And then release those hands down. Bring the right hand to the outside of the right hip. Inhale the left arm up, and to exhale, nice easy bend to the right. And coming back to center, switching arms. Inhale the right arm up, and exhale, bending to the left. And then coming back to center, taking the left hand, placing it on the right knee for a twist. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring that right hand around behind you as you turn and look to the right. And then release the twist back to center. Right hand on the left knee. Again, with your inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, bring that left hand around behind you to support the spine. Good. And then exhale back to center, release. And then we'll extend the legs out in front if you have them folded. And then just shake those legs out a little bit. Taking the hands, placing them behind the right thigh, bringing that knee in and extending it back out. Good, and the next time you pull the knee in, hold it there, point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And then reverse. Good, and switch legs. So start with that knee flexion and extension. And then the next time you pull that knee in, hold it there, point and flex the foot. And some circles. And reverse. Good. And then we'll come on to hands and knees for cat-cow, our spinal warm-up. Side. Good. So keeping the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. With the inhale, lift the chest and the sits bones to arch the spine. And then with your exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the chin. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, into cat. Good. Inhale. And exhale. And a couple more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one here. Inhale. And exhale. And then bringing the spine back to neutral, I'm going to turn this way so you can watch my hands. We're going to do some wrist stretches. So it's very important that you listen to your body. You're going to control the pressure on your hands. So, you know, back off if you feel any discomfort or pain. These should just be nice, deep stretches. All right, so we're going to start with our hands just like you have them for cat-cow. Now this is where you're going to shift some of your weight back into your legs because you're going to turn your hands, so now the back of the hands are on the mat. And then you're going to control the pressure here. Again, just getting a nice stretch. Good. Now, turn the hands out to the side. And again, maybe here you can lean forward a little bit. Get a little deeper stretch. And then we'll come to the back of the hands. But again, they're to the side. So now your palms are, your fingertips are facing each other. Good. And then for this last one, you're going to turn your hands so that your fingertips are facing you. So what's called the eye of the elbow right here in the middle is facing forward. So back off of it if you need to. Just do what you can. And then reverse it. So now the back of the hands are on the mat, the fingertips are facing forward. Good. And then release your hands, just come back onto your hips on your legs, on the back of the legs, so you can shake those hands out and open and close. And then from here, we'll come into child's pose. So extending those arms and experiment with the knees. You can widen the knees. You can extend the arms if your block is nearby. I usually put my block here then to support my head. Again, you can stack your fists and support the head here too. And just take a few breaths here. And then coming back up to hands and knees, curling your toes, pressing into the base of the index finger and thumb. As you inhale, lift the hips up to downward facing dog, pressing into the hands, extending now through the arms and the shoulders. Keep a little bend in the knees. Continue to breathe. And maybe try extending one leg and then the other. This is called walking the dog. It's a great warm-up for the hamstrings. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and bring those knees down. And then we'll come up to standing if you want to step a foot forward and come to standing, or rock back onto the balls of the feet and press up. All right, so have your chair nearby. I'm just going to put mine here. And then standing at the top of the mat, we're going to come into Tadasana, or mountain pose. So placing those feet hip width apart, feet pretty much parallel to one another, arms alongside the body, a few inches away from it. And then finding the four corners of the feet, distributing the weight between the balls of the feet and the heels, and then lifting up through the arches, tightening the front of the thighs. Lift and tighten the abdominals. Focus on the spine, lengthening from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. And then pick the shoulders up as you roll them and pull them down the back, lifting the chest, keeping the chin parallel to the floor and gazing forward, coming back to your even breathing. Good. So from here, we're going to do a little warm-up vinyasa. So a vinyasa just means movement to the breath. So we've got 3 different movements here that we're going to do. So we're going to start in Tadasana. With your inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. With the exhale, you're going to bring the arms down, bend from the hip, and come forward like you're doing a swan dive. Come about no farther than 90 degrees and place your hands on your thighs. So it is called a half forward fold. So we're keeping the back straight here. Then with the inhale, as we sweep our arms up towards shoulder height, we then exhale, bend the knees, and come into chair pose. Good. And then with our inhale, rise back up, coming back up into Tadasana. All right, so that's the movement. We'll go through it a couple more times at a little faster pace. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, this folding forward from the hip, so the back stays perfectly straight, bringing the hands down to the thighs, maybe your shins, but again, not past 90 degrees. Inhale, begin to sweep the arms up, and then exhale, coming into chair. Take a breath or two here, and with your next inhale, then push into your feet as you rise back up to mountain. All right, let's try that again. Inhale, exhale, folding forward. Hands on the thighs or shins. Inhale, lift the arms, and exhale, bend the knees, coming into chair. Take a breath. With the next inhale, press into those feet to come on up. Good, last time, here we go. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward, coming into this half forward fold. Inhale as you sweep those arms up, then exhale into chair. Take that breath. Inhale, come on back up. Good. Now for this next one, you may want to have the chair nearby, just to help you a little bit with your balance. So we're going to come up on the balls of the feet. So standing again in Tadasana or mountain pose, I'm going to keep a hand on the chair. You'll inhale, sweep those arms up, and at the same time, come up on the balls of the feet. Good. and exhale down. Now, when you come up, I want you to focus on your calves. Tighten your calf muscles. The important thing here is that your ankles stay in line with your toes. So when you come up, do you see how this is like letting my ankles go out to the side? I don't want to do that. So when I come up, I want to keep my ankles in line with my toes. So keeping a hand on the chair will give you more stability, and then you can focus on your form. All right, let's try that again. Here we go. Inhale. Come on up. Hold here. Again, a count of about 3. Exhale down. Good. Let's try it again. Inhale. Tighten those calves when you come up. That will help keep those ankles in line. Good. Exhale down. Once more. Here we go. Last time. Good. And exhale. Walk it out a little bit. And then again, if you would like to use the chair, I'm going to put mine in the middle here. We're going to come into tree pose. So if you are using the chair, come around the right side of the chair, shift the weight into the left leg, bend the right knee, take that knee out at about 45 degrees. You can slide that right foot over and rest it against the left ankle, keeping the toes on the floor. You can bring the foot to the outside of the calf, or you can reach down and bring that foot to the inner thigh. Now, I usually start by bringing the hands to prayer. Whoops, not gonna be able to. I'm going to keep my hand on the chair. Good. And then if you're okay here, extending one arm up. Let's see if I can do both. Maybe. Good. Finding your gazing point and breathing. It's always better to just keep a hand like I am. Sometimes your balance may be really good one day, maybe the next day, not so good. So keeping a hand on the chair will give you that stability, and that's fine. Good. And bring the hand down. Let's try it on the other side. Good. Shift the weight over to that right leg. Again, keep a hand on the chair. Or maybe I just bring my foot to the calf rather than all the way up. But I know that this side I have a little better balance. So again, that's going to be a factor too. Start with the hands in prayer. You're welcome to stay here. If you're okay, then extending those arms up. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then exhale, bring those arms down. Go ahead and release your leg. Walk it out. And then take your chair, bring it to the front of the mat, and turn it so the back of the chair is facing you. So we're going to come into a high lunge, and you're welcome to use the back of the chair. So placing your hands on the chair, we'll start by shifting the weight into the left leg, then the right knee, and then you're going to step that right foot back as far as you safely can. Maybe keep the left hand on the chair for right now, and you're on the ball of the right foot. The left knee is bent. You want to focus on turning those hips forward. So pull that left hip back a little bit, maybe push the right hip forward so your hips are squared to that back of the chair. Good. Now, if you need to keep a hand on the chair, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, bring the arms alongside the body. With your inhale, sweep them out and up alongside the ears. Good. Come back to your nice, even breathing. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and bring the arms down. Shift the weight forward as you step the right foot forward, and then we'll try it on the other side. All right, weight in the right leg. As you bend the left knee and step that left foot back, then bend the right knee. Again, you want to come back as far as you safely can. So you're on the ball of that left foot. As you release your hands, inhale, bring those arms up alongside the ears. Good, continue to breathe. Good, and then as you exhale the arms down, inhale, shift the weight forward and step forward. And then moving the chair back to the center, we're going to come into dancer. So this is a stretch for the quad. Now, if you do have issues with the knee flexion, so like this, bending the knee, maybe you've had a knee replacement and you can't quite do something like that, then the chair is really handy. So let's start. I'm going to turn around this way so you can see. Let's start. If you do have an issue with flexion, then just place your left knee on the chair. And you can hold on to the back of the chair. And even right here, you're getting a stretch in that quad, that left quadricep. Let's start with the left knee. Shift the weight to the right. This is if you're okay. If you can get a little deeper flexion than just placing the left knee on the chair. Then bend the knee. I'm going to turn so you can see. If you're wearing pants, you can always hold on to the pant leg, grab the ankle, maybe move your hand to the top of the foot. Good. Now, glance down at your knees. Try to keep the knees in line with one another. If you can, bending from the hip, shifting the weight forward, and then extending that leg a little bit behind you. Good. Keep breathing. Again, I've got my hand on the chair, or possibly letting go here. This is the full pose, so that's going to be a little harder. So do whatever is a challenge for you. Good. Coming back to center, release that left foot. Walk it out. We'll try it on the other side. So do it this way if you'd like. Have the chair this way and place the foot on it this way too. So you're still getting, maybe you have a wall in front of you. It's a nice way to still get that stretch. All right, so shift the weight now over to the left leg. Bend the right knee. Good. Grabbing onto whatever you can. Pant leg, shin, ankle, top of the foot. Good. Try to, when you get started, keep the torso upright. Then you can bend from the hip. Coming forward, press that foot back. I'll turn sideways so you can see. Good. If you feel okay here, possibly releasing. Find your gazing point. Good. And then come back up to center. Release that right leg. Walk it out. And then we'll put our chair to the side. We'll come back down to the mat. We're going to come onto hands and knees. So coming back into our cat-cow position, we're going to do a core pose called bird dog. So this is an opposite arm and leg. So start by shifting the weight over to the left leg, and then extend the right leg and the left arm. Good. And then bring that left hand down and the right leg and switch. Now, if that is a challenge for you to do both the arm and the leg, then just start with one. So either alternate your arms or alternate your legs, and then you can put it together. So take your time, keep those abs tight. Good, couple more each side. Good, once more. And other side. Good. And then from here, we're going to come down on our backs. So we'll take those lower legs, swing them to the side. Bring the hips down, extend the legs out in front of you. And then rolling onto your side, lowering yourself to the mat. And then when you're on your backs, go ahead and bend your knees. We're going to come into bridge pose. We're going to add a little bit to this called moving bridge, but you're welcome to just stay in bridge if you'd like. So bringing the arms alongside the body, pull those heels in towards your sits bones. With the inhale, as you begin to lift those hips up, then take your arms, bring them up over your head. Again, you're welcome just to stay in bridge if you like. Then with the exhale, sweep those arms down, lower the hips down. Inhale, same thing. Press into those heels to help lift, extend the arms. Exhale, sweep those arms down. Good. Inhale, lift. The weight should be in the shoulders, not on your neck. Exhale down. Try it once more. Inhale. Press into the heels. Good. And exhale. Good. And then extend the legs, and we'll come into a twist. So bringing the arms about shoulder height, palms facing up, bend the right knee, and then you're going to just tuck your right big toe just behind your left knee as you roll onto your left hip. You can bring your left hand down, hold on to that right knee, but pay attention to that right shoulder. So only go as far as you can that you can keep that right shoulder pretty much on the mat. And you can turn to look out to the right. Continue to breathe. Good, and then inhale, come back to center. Go ahead and release the right leg, and we'll try it on the left. So you're going to roll onto that right hip. Just keep that big toe. It's just kind of resting behind the right knee. My right hand comes onto my left knee, and that provides a little extra pressure to deepen the stretch in that left hip. And then turn to look out over that left shoulder. Again, keeping that shoulder on the mat. Good. And then come back to center, release the twist. And then bend the right knee, roll onto your side, use your left hand to push yourself back up to a seated position. And then we're going to extend the legs out in front of us, grab your strap. And we're going to do a wide leg forward fold, only instead of coming forward, we're going to do a little bend to the side. So you want to start by extending the legs, and the little trick that I use to extend them a little bit more is bringing my hands around behind me. Fingers are pointing away. Press into your palms and see if you can extend the legs a little bit more. Good. Then grab your strap. We'll put the strap around the ball of the right foot. And hold on to the strap with your right hand. Now it's important here that you don't round the spine. So keeping the back perfectly straight, you're just going to lean a little bit to the right. But my back stays straight. Now if you're a little more flexible, maybe you can do that and hold on to your big toe. But again, I'm not rounding or collapsing my chest forward. Keep the chest open, focus on that left shoulder. If you're okay here, you can extend that left arm up. If not, just keep it on the waist, that's fine. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then inhale, release it, and then we'll try it on the other side. So again, you can just hold that strap with that left hand. Inhale to lengthen, and then as you exhale, keeping the right chest and shoulder open, leaning a little bit to the left. Arm options are bring the right arm up, place it on your hip. You could even tuck it behind your back if you'd like. That would really open up that chest. Good. Just remember to keep the back straight so you're not rounding. And continue to breathe. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. Go ahead and release your strap. Bring the legs out in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. So we're going to do a hip opener called Rock the Baby. Now, this is about an intermediate stretch for the hip. So if you've been told not to do an extreme external rotation, you're welcome to lay down and do reclined pigeon, which is that just crossing one foot over the bent knee of the other thigh. So you'd be like this, only on your back. You're always welcome to do that stretch. It's a great stretch for the hip. Otherwise, we're going to stay in our seated position. We'll keep the left leg straight, and we're going to bend the right knee so that your right foot is about in line with your left thigh. Now, here's where the baby comes in. You're going to take your right hand, see if you can wrap it around that right knee. So your right hand's holding on to your right shin. The left hand can either hold on to your right foot, or you can bring it more in the crook of the arm. But again, your back is key here. You have to keep the back straight. So if you're better here and you can keep the back straight, that's fine. And each side is going to be different depending on the flexibility of that. So like this one, I think I can hold this way. So this is my baby. So now the rocking part is just rocking back and forth. But again, my back stays straight. I'm not rounding the spine. Good. And maybe you're here. That's perfectly fine too. It's just really getting that hip moving, stretching through that hip. Good. And then coming back to center, release the right leg. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll try it on the other side. So bending that left knee. Wrap that left arm around. So you're hugging the knee and towards you, holding onto your shin. Again, right hand can hold the left foot. I'm probably not going to be able to do it on this side because my hip is a lot tighter. So I'm just going to hold it right here. And then I'm going to do my rock. And again, make sure that back stays straight. So if you find you're rounding forward, just to hold on to your knee, then back off of it a little bit. You could probably even just rest your foot here. You're probably not going to be able to rock so much here, but you're still getting a nice stretch. And if you need to, then just head down to the mat and do the reclined pigeon, just crossing one foot over the thigh of the other. Good. All right, go ahead and release that left leg, shake it out. And then grabbing your block, maybe a bolster if you have a bolster. We're going to come down on our backs and come into legs up the wall, only modified legs up in the air using a block. And then gather up the things that you need to have for Savasana, because then we'll go right into Savasana. So I'll turn this way, keeping my block nearby, rolling onto your side, and then onto your back. Bending the knees, coming back up into a bridge, placing the block underneath the sacrum. Good. And then bending the knees and extending the legs. So as you lay here, the block is supporting the weight of the hips. The leg muscles really are doing very little. So you should be able to just relax for a few moments. Adjust the block if you need to make it more comfortable. And just go ahead and close the eyes. So this is an inversion. This particular pose helps to send the blood from the lower extremities back to the heart. And we'll stay here about 30 more seconds. So to come out of the pose, bend both knees, but just send one foot down to the mat first, then the other. Lifting those hips and removing your block. And then coming into Savasana, so extending those legs. You want to grab your blanket. I'm going to come up to my seated position, but grabbing a blanket, placing it under the head. Maybe rolling one, placing it under the knees. As you make yourself comfortable, and closing the eyes. Arms are alongside the body, a few inches away from it, palms rotated up towards the ceiling. And turning the attention back to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. Let the abdomen rise first, then the chest, filling the lungs all the way up to the collarbones. And with the exhale, let the collarbones fall first, then the chest, and then the abdomen, drawing the navel to the spine. Just taking a few of these deep breaths. Focusing on the physical body, relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. Focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. And if these try to come back in, just acknowledge them and release them. Turning the attention back to the breath. Again, notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. Yourself just a few moments to completely let go. wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, bending both knees and rolling onto your right side in a fetal position and taking a few breaths here. And then using your left hand to support you, pushing yourself up into your seated position. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for another moment. Focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.